Hey everybody, just some tips and tricks and some issues I found while rebuilding this particular project through the audio mixer. So first and foremost, if you are going to use the excuse me, if you're going to use the coin pickup sound, that coin pickup sound needs to be attached to the player, because this is the script, the player script, that calls upon that audio. So if you head over to your third player within your inspector window, you'll want to add an audio source and add your pickup sound, and then create the pickup sound within that audio mixer. And let me just grab that audio mixer here. So I have a pickup sound, an environment, and a background, so they're associated. And in regards to the player script, let's go ahead and open up that player script. I found that when I had not added that audio to the player, that my count did not work, because it was looking for the audio first before it would count. So these three lines right here within your textbook are above the count equals count plus 1 statement. So I just moved them below, so as the script is read, it does these things first and then it does this. So repeating, when this was above and I did not have the audio associated, it would not count my pickup. So the next issue is that I was working with someone, and the person had one of their scenes saved into a different folder, and I said, no, all of your scenes need to go in the same folder. This is very important. File management is very important. All scenes should be within a scene folder. All scripts should be within a script folder. Once you save something, specifically a scene, do not move it around. We found out first and foremost that it's a bad thing. You'll lose everything that you have. So save in the proper folders and file management. All right, the next thing I wanted to talk about was within the scenes and within the game, there's a nav mesh. But I used, for my terrain, I used a raw file and brought that in for my terrain. So what I want to do is show you how you can export a raw file very quickly. So I'm going to create a new scene for this, and hopefully we're going to call it the tester scene. And we're going to just create a terrain very quickly, a very simple one. Game object 3D terrain. I think that I don't want a large terrain, so I'm just going to go 100, not that big, by 100, and I think I'll have it even go 100 here. So then I take my beautiful texture for the terrain, or not texture, but I want to paint my height. So I come over to the paint option, and what am I going to do? I am going to raise and lower the terrain. I think I'll just use this particular thing. Is it big enough? Let me do my brush size a little bigger. And so I'm just going to build a little terrain here. So here's a terrain. And I kind of mess with it here and associate everything, and I smooth it out and I paint it and all of that good stuff. So now I want to export this terrain. So I go back into the cog and I will come down to export raw file. So if you have a terrain that you work very, very hard on and you might want to use it again, and maybe you don't, I would do this anyway, export that raw file, and it will say, okay, we're going to export it as this into your Windows, and you select export, and it says, okay, where do you want to save this? Where do you want to save this particular raw file? So I'm just going to throw it on my desktop for now, and that is how you export a raw file, and then you can actually import your raw files in and work with them. So that, my friends, is exporting. Okay, I told you about the player script. I told you about the audio. I created a folder called Imported Packages. So whenever I imported a package from the asset store, I set it inside of that folder. But there is a a tool that I used to create the terrain here that I imported, and it was this great terrain tool asset. And if you're interested, let me know via the messages and I'll send you the link. All right, that's it for now. Thank you.